GALP.
Hey guys, and welcome to GALP. It's me, your boy, Bish. And guess what? I want to talk about a game that I've been getting into recently. And some people might judge me a little bit, but my guilty pleasure game of 2024 is Marvel Rivals. And you're like, Bish, come on. Some people have issue with NetEase, and I get that, and I completely appreciate that. But this game is pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm playing it. Marvel Rivals, and I don't know, I'll kind of explain why it's my guilty pleasure after the disclaimer. For you new folks, GALP is a weekly gaming discussion podcast under the GALP Podcast Network. We talk about all sorts of games, from big AAA titles all the way to awesome indie games, but our forte is Japanese games, so expect that a lot. We can be found anywhere where you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and now on YouTube. Whilst you're there, be sure to give us a 5-star review, and remember, if you want to join in on the fun, then follow us on all of our socials, including X, TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky, all at GALP Podcasts. Anyway, let's get back into this. What am I talking about? What am I talking about with this Marvel Rivals? Marvel Rivals is basically NetEase's version of Overwatch. Sorry, I went to get some water because I've been recording back to back, but basically Marvel Rivals is Overwatch but better, and including your favorite Marvel characters that I've known from my childhood, and characters that I don't know who the hell they are, but I'm here for it, right? Like characters like Namor, right? Or Star-Lord. I'm joking. I know who Star-Lord is from Guardians of the Galaxy. Black Panther, you've got Adam Warlock, Bruce Banner, Black Widow, Captain America, Cloak and Dagger, who I do not know, but I'm here for. Doctor Strange, Dormammu, I've come to bargain, right? Groot, Hawkeye. I don't know why Hawkeye's in the game. I think the reason Hawkeye is in the game is because they kind of have certain characters that are basically there for the Overwatch players. Right, Black Widow's basically Widowmaker. Hawkeye is Hanzo. I would argue that Psylocke is basically Genji. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of similarities between certain characters. Some people have compared Hulk and Bruce Banner to Diva. I don't know. I think Penny Parker is more like Diva because Penny has a mech. I don't know. Anyway, so you have all of these different character variants. Oh, I forgot to mention that. Punisher is basically Soldier 76. And the Winter Soldier reminds me a lot of, and forgive me because I have to search the name because I know that this character got a new name in Overwatch. So I am going to find his new name. Cassidy. Yeah. Winter Soldier is basically Cassidy. And pretty cool. It's high noon. Anyway, so the fact that you've got all of these characters in the game, you've got Venom as well, you've got Spider-Man, who I can't play as Spider-Man for shit. It's so difficult to play as. You've also got Storm, Thor, Mantis, Moon Knight, a lot of characters that people would be very much used to from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And in fact, there are characters that have special costumes for their MCU variants. For example, Scarlet Witch actually has costume variants. If we go to cosmetics, she has her Multiverse of Madness variant, which is basically her design from there. They all have kind of unique designs. Like, let's say if you want to go into Mantis, for example. Also, I think Mantis has a Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, she has a Guardians of the Galaxy variant as well, where she's wearing like the outfit, and also her little tendrils look very different, and she looks more human-like. Her eyes aren't, I guess she has the same eyes, but she doesn't look as alien in this. But there's also many various variants as well. You've got Jeff the Land Shark, who I think Jeff the Land Shark is Jeff from Deadpool. I'm pretty sure Jeff the Land Shark is from Deadpool. And these are characters that aren't necessarily well known in the community. Let's see, actually, Jeff the Land Shark. Okay, now I feel bad. Jeff the Land Shark, he is a fictional character, also known as Jeffrey. Appeared in West Coast Avengers in 2018, but was not formally introduced until issue 7. Jeff is the pet shark of Gwenpool and Kate Bishop, who Kate Bishop is the new Hawkeye, I believe. Gwenpool. Wow. Gwenpool's pretty cool. I used to collect the Gwenpool comics, actually, come to think of it. And there was some time that I kind of got into comics. I did mention this on our episode of Did we call the show Super Zero? I don't even think so. I think we called it the panel. Did we call it the panel? Super Zero. I think it's called Superhero. Super Zero? What is the show called? I think it's called Super Zero. Anyway, we did kind of mention it on Super Zero. Yeah. Also, Jeff has his own comic called It's Jeff. It was available on Marvel's Infinity Comics. It was an online service. I think it still exists. Actually, it's an online service drawn by Gurihiru. Gurihiru is, I think it's a studio actually based in Sapporo. I can't remember, but basically, I don't know if they are based in Sapporo. I think maybe they started in Sapporo or something like that, but they basically work on Marvel comics like the Jeff comic and also the Gwenpool comic. So yeah, Marvel Rivals has a lot of different characters from a lot of different comic universes, and it just works. There are some characters that I think are a little bit overpowered, like Doctor Strange. Like you might have seen this online. The Doctor Strange team up with Punisher using Punisher's turret and like Doctor Strange's portals and stuff. I think that needs to be nerfed a little bit, but I think as we go on and as we get more players on this game, they will make adjustments. There are some characters that I do find really annoying. Jeff the Land Shark being one of them, but if I've got a Jeff on my team, I'm cool. There are some characters that I do love playing. Psylocke is one of them because in Overwatch, I was a Genji player, so Psylocke makes a lot of sense. Luna Snow. All the girls are galling. She is the reason I got into Le Sserafim, the K-pop group. And I didn't even know that her story. I didn't know she was a K-pop idol or anything like that. But, you know, she is basically your support character, your healers. You have some tank characters and your, I don't know, like assault characters, I guess. Like, I do play Penny Parker sometimes as well. I do like Penny just because the mech is so cool. And also I did like playing as Diva. So she does kind of remind me a lot of Diva. It's interesting as well because when you select your different characters in the game, they're called vanguards, your tanks. Let's see what your other names are. Sorry, I'm just checking the names. Duelists and Duelists, you got vanguards, and you have your strategists, I believe is the name. Yes. And each has their own various difficulties. Psylocke, for some reason, is considered, I think, 5-star difficulty, which is actually quite weird because I think I do quite well with Psylocke. I think characters like Spider-Man is super difficult. A lot of people meme online and they're like, guys, Peter Parker, he doesn't kill people. That's why you never see him get kills in game. I don't know. I just think it's just very difficult in terms of swinging. Some people have done certain things on PC version to make it easier in terms of turning off certain assists, which I don't know if it's possible to do that on console. Squirrel Girl, my friend Adam absolutely hates Squirrel Girl. And for some context, I used to read Squirrel Girl comics. Not the original Squirrel Girls, but like when they were doing the all new Marvel. So like when they were doing all new Wolverine, all new Thor, like basically doing the female variants of a lot of these characters. And Squirrel Girl was in a couple of comics of all new Wolverine. And I was like, this is the dumbest character I've ever seen in the Marvel universe. And I love her just for that because she's just so dumb. And as a character, she's just so fun and kind of dumb, like I said. But she is available in this game to play as. And she reminds me a lot of Junkrat. I don't know if it's the sort of styling of the character or anything like that. But yeah, she's very Junkrat-esque, I guess. Design is quite interesting as well. The sleeves on her outfit look like acorns and she has a little squirrel. It's quite fun actually. I'm not gonna lie. It is fun to see characters like that come alive. Storm, my girl Storm is in this game. I have a soft spot for the X-Men. So seeing more X-Men characters will be fantastic. I think we only have Storm, Magneto, Wolverine, and who else within the X-Men? I think that's it actually. We only have 3 X-Men characters and it makes me think, are we gonna see more X-Men characters in the future? How is that gonna work? Technically, we can say Scarlet Witch is an X-Men character because she is Magneto's daughter. Are we going to see Quicksilver in the game? How would that work? Because Quicksilver's very quick, I guess. Yeah, there's a lot of speculation. Obviously, the Fantastic Four is making its way over. There have been some leaks. Hela as a character as well. She's just fantastic. Even playing as her is quite fun. There are a lot of characters that I love playing as, but her design is just badass. And she's like a villainess, and I love that. And I love that we get to play as villains as well as heroes, which is pretty cool. And it kind of puts them all on like a level playing field. I wish there was more villains though, because, you know, just having Magneto and Hela and I think who else? Venom. Can we consider Venom No, I don't know actually. But the fact that Venom's in the game is quite cool, but I would like to see Deadpool. I'd like to see... Oh, no, we got Loki as well. I forgot about that. Loki's pretty cool in the game as well. There are some very unique characters. And this game, I think, has more on launch than Overwatch did have on launch in terms of playable characters. But each have their own personalities. Each have their own stories. And the costumes and cosmetics in this game are just badass. And part of me likes playing the game for the cosmetics alone. And some people are like, Bish, how dare you say that? Okay, cool. There are some that I think are just pretty cool, like the snow symbiote Venom. That's a good one. People are going to be like, Bish, do you mean the 19 inches of Venom? No, I don't mean that, you perverts. All right. Speaking of perverts, there's a lot of people online that are making mods for this game, and they're kind of like Rule 34 mods, which is weird, but it's also quite weird that the developers of the game made detailed models like that. And I kind of think that's maybe one of the reasons why this game is doing so well. I don't know. I'd hate saying that, but there's a lot of perverts that play this game, and those people enjoy certain aspects. And it's the same thing with Overwatch. There was a lot of perverts playing Overwatch as well. And there was a lot of Rule 34 online as well. Yeah, and I guess probably the developers know, hey, we know our audience. Let's just give this to them, I guess. And they did. I'm glad that the Psylocke, you can select her original or sort of traditional design, which I don't understand why her traditional design wasn't necessarily included. Oh, how was it that I said there was only 3 X-Men characters? Psylocke is an X-Men character. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, the fact that Psylocke is playable in this game is really cool. Obviously, her original costume and stuff is in the game. It's also interesting as well because it tells you what are the hottest costumes that people are buying. And so the Psylocke costume, admittedly, I understand why. There are some pretty badass costumes here as well. The Captain America costumes are cool. The Black Panther costume, the one where he's wearing like the Panther skin. Go and take a look at it. It's like one of my favorite skins in this game. The Wolverine, it's like Wolverine from Deadpool and Wolverine, but actually it's just Logan's traditional costume, I guess. It's not necessarily one that's linked to the film, but it does list, hey, this is from the MCU and this is the costume for blah, 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 you know. Are we going to see Deadpool? I don't know. Squirrel Girl gets a costume as well, which I'm looking at now. It's so dumb. I'm sorry to say this, Squirrel Girl is like the dumbest character, but I'm for it. I'm all for Squirrel Girl. Sorry, Adam. I like Squirrel Girl. She's just funny. Yeah, there's so many Bruce Banner and Hulk things as well. One thing that I think a lot of people tend to argue about the game online is that there's just everyone's playing as duelists and no one's really playing as strategists. So everyone's like, I need healing. Well, if you need healing, and this is my logic, right? If you need healing, be the fucking healer. That's all you need to do. Like sometimes I'll go into a game and it's not ranked. I'll just go into a random game and I'll notice that there is no healers. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take one for the team. I'll play as a healer. I'll play as Luna, you know, or I'll play as Mantis or any of the other healers. Who are the other healers in this game? Like Rocket Raccoon? Bruh, I've never played as Rocket, but cool. Rocket Raccoon is a healer in this game. Did not know that. I rarely play as Jeff though. Jeff, I find a little bit annoying. But there's a lot of people that play as Jeff. I don't go into tournaments or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, I just kind of play the game as needed. One thing I do like about this game is that the battle pass doesn't have like a limit on it. It's hard to explain, but like, oh, what did I do? Oh, I'm in the game at the moment. I just press random buttons. Yeah, the battle pass doesn't have a limit, which is interesting because like you can pay for the battle pass and you can still progress through it even after the season, which is kind of weird, but it is an interesting way of doing things. So you can kind of play in your own pace, really, which I like. I like not having the confinement. And it's something that would make me go into the battle pass more. The fact that I can do it within my own time and I don't get kicked out of the battle pass. There's also like certain special events. Like for Christmas, they have the whole winter celebration, which is really interesting. The fact that they introduce this pretty much pre-season, which is pretty good. They add new things on here. Oh, there's Groot. Why is Groot here? Okay. You have like certain things like a Groot's Christmas tree skin. Like they like to have fun in this game. Yeah, the game is just pretty cool. There's missions to complete in this game, like little achievements, and you get like in-game currency that you can use within the battle pass, but also you can grind for skins to buy, but that takes ages. But yeah, it's nice to see that they've got all these different skins and stuff from the MCU and a bunch of different things. Like if you're any sort of Marvel fan, I don't know, do you have to play this game? No, you don't need to play this game, but like someone like me, I'm a Marvel fan and I'm a fan of the original Overwatch, so I'm glad to have something that combines the two. And it's fun. It's just really, really, really fun. Actually, oh wait, console only matchmaking. Damn. I didn't know that this was a thing. You can now match only with console players or only with PC players if you wanted to, which I probably think makes sense. More modes. Let's see what modes you have in this game. Quick match. You've got competitive, which I haven't gotten yet because I haven't reached level 10. Conquest mode, which I think is an arcade style mode. I don't know. And then practice and Jeff's Winter Splash Festival, which is basically a Splatoon clone, but it's so fun. It's just so fun. And everyone's Jeff. And then Jeff. Sorry, I don't have soundboards yet on my new Roadcaster, so I'm gonna have to make them up as I go along. Anyway, that being said, I don't think I even spoke about the game enough. I kind of feel like I need to talk about more. Like, there's so many lovely stages that are kind of reminiscent of Overwatch stages. The game modes are pretty much like Overwatch, which makes sense for a hero shooter. There's no real like team deathmatch mode, which you don't really expect in a game like this, but you have a domination type mode where you basically need to capture an objective, and it's basically 3 objectives. You have a payload mode where you kind of escort the payload to the end, which is something that you'd have in Overwatch as well. I'm trying to think. There's other modes as well. I would like to see like a capture the flag mode. That would be pretty cool. Like a capture the flag, or like a, I don't know, like an escort of a VIP. Like you have one character that's assigned as a VIP and everyone else has to defend them. And it would be really cool if that character was, I don't know, this is an idea that I have. Like, imagine a mode where you are assigned as like a shield agent, right? And you have no powers. All you do, you've got a pistol and that's it. Right, so you can't really do that much damage, and then you have to rely on your teammates to help you. That's one thing. I think a lot of the people in this game don't necessarily communicate as much, and they don't really have that ability to have teamwork. And I kind of think if this game is to kind of thrive and continue and have people that don't complain about it a lot, people need to change their attitude towards this game. And I think people need to change their attitude in terms of how they play. So don't be as selfish. If you see, don't like jump to like your favorite character and that's it, but like see who you can play as to benefit your team. And the game actually does that. They give you an opportunity to do team ups. Like, there are certain characters that work better together, and the game rewards you for that because they give you extra abilities to do that. For example, the symbiote bond is a team up profile where basically you get to, you know, if someone's playing as Venom and you're Peter Parker or Penny, then you get a special move for that. I think, oh, let me see what it is. It's basically if you're Peter Parker and you're teamed up with Venom, then you have a special ability where press triangle, Venom shares a part of his symbiote with Spider-Man and Penny, activating their symbiote abilities, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's something that you could do, and that's something that I really like to see in this game. There are others that have certain combinations. I'm trying to think. Hawkeye and Black Widow have certain team ups, and the way they've done it is that sometimes they do it depending on series. Like I said, like the symbiote bond, it's the Spider-Man characters, right? The Ragnarok Rebirth is basically your Thor characters. Let's see what other ones that you have. There are some that just don't make sense and are a little bit fun, right? ESU alumnus, the Empire State University alumnus. It just basically, they went to university together, so they get special powers. It's quite funny. You get a webbed acorn with Squirrel Girl if you're partnered with Spider-Man. It's things like that. So I think people need to take more opportunity into doing things like that, and I think this game will thrive. It's already thriving at the moment. In like, I think on its first launch, and we're still in launch month, but even before season 1 dropped, we're getting like 300, maybe 400,000 concurrent players at a time, which is kind of insane. I have no issues in terms of getting into a game or getting into a match. And once again, this game is free to play. I didn't mention that. You don't even need a PlayStation Plus subscription to play it. So yeah, some people will be like, oh, what about Battle Pass and costumes? Well, guess what? You don't need the costumes. They're fun, you know. Maybe they're overpriced, I get it, but it doesn't take away from the actual gameplay, which is good, because other games do that where you get like special abilities. Call of Duty, cough cough, where you get special abilities depending on what costume you've picked. Yeah, and the game has a lot of free outfits as well. Like, for example, if you are a PlayStation player, guess what? Because Sony owns like the rights to Spider-Man, I don't know, then you get a special costume for Spider-Man. If you're a PlayStation Plus member, you get a special Penny Parker costume, which actually looks like an Eva, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like it's very reminiscent to an Eva Evangelion, which is, yeah, but I think it's like a Venom, like symbiote type thing, to be fair. But yeah, I think there's also like an Iron Man outfit as well that you get for free if you input a code or something like that. It's all sorts. But yeah, I don't think people should be really upset by microtransactions in this game, because we get a lot of microtransactions anyway. So, you know, and this game's microtransactions aren't that bad. That being said, I think that was a great episode. I don't think I even barely talked about the game. I forgot to mention that there are some stages that just look beautiful in this game. And there are winter variants as well for those stages. And yeah, the game is just fun. Pick it up. What do you have to lose? The game is free, guys. Like on all consoles except for the Switch. The game is free. Go and play it. If you don't like it, delete it. There's not much more I can say, but as someone who was a fan of Overwatch, the original, and who is still a fan of Marvel Comics, this is one of my favorite games. And like I said, it's my guilty pleasure. Anyway, that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of GALP, and we'll see you next week. I don't know what we're going to be talking about next week. It might be Dynasty Warriors, or let me decide now. Let me just see what games I've got installed on my PS5. Fun fact, I recently upgraded my PS5. I've got 5 gigs of storage, which is pretty cool. What could we talk about next week? I got to think about it. I haven't thought about it. Can we talk about like SSX? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe let's talk about it. Scarlet Nexus. I've got that installed, but I don't know if I want to talk about that because there's a lot of controversy on Fairy Tail. Yeah, let's talk about Fairy Tail 2 next week because I've got to review it. Anyway, that being said, see you guys next week for Fairy Tail 2. Bye.